What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for stopping by. What you're watching in the background is a bit of Titanfall attrition gameplay. As I've often said, this is my second favourite FPS shooter currently at this moment in time. First, by a long way, is Overwatch. As everybody knows, I absolutely love that game, and I was actually going to bring you another gameplay for Overwatch, but I didn't want to do Overwatch 2 days in a row. I wanted to have a bit of a chat about Titanfall and just sort of form some opinions of it, really, in terms of why it is perceived to be sort of this huge flop, so to speak, and why there aren't loads and loads of people playing this game. Now sure, when DLC comes out, everybody jumps on and the game is sweaty as fuck to play, but normally when you actually play this game, there's not that many people online. Now, I never have an issue getting into games or anything like that. The only time that it happens is if you go on at a particular time or something like that, then sometimes you might have to wait a little while, but generally speaking, I never really have problems of getting into games. But I do remember going online once, and this was before the DLC drop for Monarch. It was, I think it was just under 6,000 people online playing, and it was actually at quite a peak time for sort of cross, so the UK and US and Europe and everything like that. So you kind of rack your brains, and there's the kind of common theme that people talk about as to why Titanfall 2 particularly just isn't perceived to be a good game, or there isn't that many people playing it. Now, the biggest problem that it suffered from, which everyone is aware of, is that you had 3 other games that dropped at around about the same time. So you had Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. We won't talk about that game, it is the devil. You've also got the Skyrim Special Edition, but also as well Battlefield 1, which actually released just a week before Titanfall 2 came out, which, when you think about it in terms of the developer, you've got EA. To me, it didn't make sense to release it when they did, because it was sandwiched in between Battlefield 1 and Infinite Warfare, and as bad as Infinite Warfare is, it was always going to suffer from sales. And one of the major problems, and I was actually looking at an article that's on Forbes, and a guy took a survey out of 300 people, and a full 27% of those people said that they still believe that Titanfall 2 was an Xbox exclusive, like its predecessor. So that kind of speaks to another sort of issue, if you like, with the game. And as much as, like I said, I love Titanfall, and they do everything properly, EA and Respawn, when it comes to the support of this game, do everything phenomenally well when it comes to the DLC. When it comes to the actual microtransactions in the game, they're not game-breaking microtransactions, they're just stuff that is cosmetic. The only thing, obviously, is Monarch, the new Titan, which you can effectively get without having to spend money if you've got 200 credits. Now, the biggest problem that I've always noticed is that the promotion for certain things, unless you are a big fan of the game and you constantly look on things like the Reddit forums and stuff like that, you generally don't know when certain things are dropping. The actual sort of promotions, if you like, for the game just aren't, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like they shout about the game enough. It's almost as if they released Battlefield 1 and they wanted Battlefield 1 to be this absolutely awe-inspiring, phenomenal game that is the absolute gonna break Call of Duty in the face game that came out. And sure, when it first came out, Battlefield 1, everybody loved it. I loved it, I still love it. It's a beautiful game to actually go out and play because of visually the way that it looks. But the problem is that the actual progression in Battlefield 1 is so slow. There's just the weapon customizations are just appallingly bad. That it just tailed off really quickly. And because of that, they kind of left Titanfall 2 in the dust a little bit. So sure, yeah, I get giddy when stuff gets released for Titanfall 2. I think it's brilliant stuff, but it's that little thing. People still thinking that it was an Xbox exclusive. Nearly a quarter of the people surveyed out of that 300 still thought it was an Xbox exclusive. And that's a real shame, because I say it often enough. Titanfall plays phenomenally well. I never have connection problems or anything like that. I think maybe once or twice, but that was when it was trying to connect me to some Malaysian server or something, just because, again, the number of people playing the game was so low. The movement is on point, The advanced movement is absolutely phenomenally brilliant. The Titans are good. Everything's balanced really well. I feel like both EA, maybe not so much Respawn, but more EA, missed a real trick on this, because when Titanfall actually launched, EA's share prices dropped. So that kind of speaks to the fact, well, maybe it wasn't as good as what we thought. And to me, that's just a real shame. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, why Titanfall isn't, for me, like I said, it's my second favourite FPS game, why Titanfall 2 isn't more prevalent than what it should be, just doesn't feel like it's getting enough justice for what an absolute quality game this actually is. And like I said, that's a real shame. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. That's going to do it for this one, guys. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please don't forget to click the like button. If you're new to the channel, please also don't forget to subscribe. And we're out of here. Peace!